Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is Jay Wendell. I'm here for another edition of the Monday Madhouse, presented by the Midwest Metal Show, of course, and Asylum Radio Network. As always, like I said, I am Jay Wendell. Got all kinds of cool stuff for you to go over today. But first, I'm going to be doing an interview here just in a bit as soon as he jumps on in with Mr. Scott Eames. Now, if you're not familiar with Scott Eames, he is the mastermind behind Nevalra, axe shredder for the Antichrist, orator of destruction for Vital Remains, and probably has like 5 or 6 other projects hidden away somewhere. And if that weren't enough, he's managing bands, repping all kinds of different gear, and somehow has managed to consistently not be single. I don't know how the hell he managed that. But anyways, until he shows up, first off, I want to thank you guys for joining me today on this wonderful Monday, first Monday of the year, day after Easter, all that fun stuff. Hope you guys had a good time with family or whatever you do on Easter. I was busy sleeping most of the day because we drove back from Florida to Columbus, Ohio. Went on vacation, took my youngest, visit with my mom, went to go to Galaxy's Edge over at Disney World. It was a fucking blast. I have lightsabers. I didn't get to do the make your own lightsaber thing, but I got lightsabers. I've got multiple lightsabers. Why? Because I'm a nerd. But yeah, honestly, getting away from Ohio, if any of you are familiar with Ohio or have lived in Ohio, know this: it's not a place where you want to be on a regular basis. Like I said, I'm going to bullshit a little bit here, at least until Scott jumps in on here. Hope you guys, like I said, are having a wonderful day. Scott is actually just messaged me and is setting up, and just realized I have my audio all messed up here. Oops, what did I do? Oh, it's all right. Anyways, got plenty of news to talk about in the second hour and all that fun stuff. I'm going to be having Adam, the drummer from Mag Dillon, jumping in to, and obviously one of our hosts over here hanging out with me for the second half of the show. But yeah, oh man, I'm still out of it. Tell you what, driving from Florida to Ohio in one shot is not fun. I mean, the only bonus of it was that it was Easter weekend, which meant that honestly roads were pretty clear. So, hey Eric, how you doing? Ashley, how you doing? But yeah, first thing I did was hit bed as soon as I slept for like half the day, and then been trying to get my sleep schedule back to normal. Going from VA to Indiana, that's a bit of a hike too there. Definitely. I've made similar trips before. So, but yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with Scott Eames, who's going to be coming on here in just a few. So melodic death metal, shit. He does pretty much everything. He has way too many projects. He keeps himself entirely too busy. But if you're familiar with Nevalra, that's all his baby. And then the Antichrist band, originally out of Colombia, and he is the guitarist for them. He is screaming his damn heart out for Vital Remains. I know of a few other projects that he has going on because he doesn't. Like I said, he doesn't slow down. Plus, he's doing band management. Plus, I'll let him explain more. But damn, it really does surprise me that even through all of that, his lady has managed not to dump him in all that time and all that busyness that he goes through here. So, where's the kitty? The kitty has been quarantined over to the kids' room because that asshole will jump on my setup here and probably mess everything up otherwise. So the cat has been has been exiled for the time being. So, yeah, my cat, I think was pissed at me that I was gone for a week. Well, that everybody was gone for a week, other than my other kid coming to visit occasionally to make sure that the cat was taken care of and everything like that. So, so hopefully Scott will jump in here soon. He probably broke shit. No, it's okay. So that being said, anybody watching, how are you guys doing today? How's your last couple weeks been? Because of course I had an off week last week because, well, I was in Florida. Hopefully everything has been good for you guys. And also, if you have any questions that you want me to ask Scott, I mean, he'll be able to see them here too. But go ahead and just post them up in the comments, and we will get to them as we go. So, I know all the excitement, right? Yeah, I had to get all my computer stuff set up too because I actually took a lot of that stuff down with me. So, and my one monitor was acting all up, and gotta love it. I hate setting shit up again. You know, I should be used to all this stuff. I'm an IT guy in my day job and regular life, and I hate IT work. I hate it so much. New music? Well, I'm sure Scott will have some answers for that, and I suspect the answer is going to be that not only is there some new music, there's probably some stuff just waiting to come out at this point for multiple different angles. So, you know, your husband, let's see here. So you're supposed to leave. Oh, we got Scott in here. All right, let me go ahead and bring him in. Sir, how are you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, not too much. So long time no chat. I think the last time we sat down was probably about a year ago now at this point. One
Yeah,
of the
I guess
chats.
it's been a little while. You have
Well,
a whole different setup. You're the blue, and I'm the red team.
exactly. And I knew that going in, so I didn't want to change. I didn't want to go with a different color setup. It kind of works well. So
Man, you know I'm black and red.
yeah, it's not hard to guess what color scheme you're coming with. So obviously you've had a year of not being able to tour, which you're normally touring for at least 3 bands.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see. In 2019 alone, I think I was in 26 countries, and in 23 of them we performed in. And so I was looking to try to exceed that number in 2020. Little did I know.
Right, about that. Life tried to slow you down, but even through all of the slowing down, lo and behold, you start managing bands and stuff like that because God forbid you take some time off.
Hey man, when the opportunities come up, I definitely jump at all of those. So yeah, I had to take that on as well. So
So, in this last year, what have you been up to kind of catch people up as far as project wise and everything? That and honestly, a lot of people that are probably tuning in or replay later on probably aren't aware of everything that you do, which is a huge fucking list.
yeah, man, I have notebooks all over. Like I have one down in the studio here. I have a notebook in the rehearsal space, which is on the opposite side of this room. And then I have a studio that I work upstairs. That's just like a condensed version. And I have a
Right.
notebook there too. And I just got lists, so I don't forget something. And so yeah, basically, up till now, I'm in 3 bands that tour internationally. Um,
Officially.
Officially, so three bands I tour all over the world with. Um, one of which is my own, Nevalra, and also the Antichrist and Vital Remains, which is like a legendary death metal band. You know, they've been around like 30 years or something. And so I've been with them a little over a year. Antichrist a little over 3 years. Navalra has been 6 or 7 years. And not that I didn't already have enough, on my plate. I had lots of really cool ideas music wise that didn't quite fit any of those bands. Um, so I actually have like another project that's going to come out probably in the next year or so. It's already been tracked and it's mostly done, and we got some like really cool like guest appearances and stuff like that. So I gotta make sure I have as many albums on my wall as possible before I die. So
Right. Well, I was joking about the fact that amongst all of this and managing bands and everything like that, it almost baffles me that you have time to have a relationship, that you haven't been single this entire time and managed to, and she hasn't gotten sick of your shit.
oh man, she's sick of my shit all the time, honestly. No, but she's pretty patient about it. Like the when inspiration strikes, I try to take advantage of it, and I run to grab a guitar pretty quick, and like I said, I just have lists everywhere. So it's like if I'm sitting there working on something completely different, like actually doing my job work, and something, an idea sparks, that I write it down immediately. So I don't lose it, because there's been lots of things in the past that I've had like a really cool idea that I think is like going to be brilliant, and then later on I can't quite
Remember
keep track
exactly.
of what
Yeah.
it was going to be. So that's one of the reasons the notebooks follow me around, to make sure that like merchandise ideas, phrases, lyrics, ideas for music, and just like projects and things that I need to. I mean, even stuff like this, I need to like write it down and make sure I'm not going to forget it. This date and this time, and that it's video. Or if it's just audio, or just all those things, because it's like juggling 100 things. So
Right. Dude, I don't know how you keep up with all of it. I don't.
me either, honestly. I haven't dropped the ball so far, but eventually I'm gonna spread myself too thin, and then I'm gonna have to like, take a step back and try to
I'm almost,
restructure everything.
I'm almost going to be baffled when that actually happens, just because I'm like, since I've gotten to know you, it's only increased. I mean, hell, originally when we were talking, and it was before the Antichrist or anything like that. It was just Nevalra and then other projects and stuff that you had going. I mean, little things you had going here, but you were trying to sort of hit the gas pedal on that, and then lo and behold, let's add an international touring band to that. And
Absolutely. Like I said, when the opportunity is there, I don't want to, bypass anything that could definitely like raise the prestige of everything. So it's like, if another opportunity is there, man, everybody better get the hell out of the way, because like with the Antichrist, I was with Nevalra for a few years working on my own stuff, and I'd done prior bands, but I was a fan of the Antichrist for a lot of years, and I had heard through our management that they needed another guitar player, and I absolutely jumped at the chance. I like sent them videos, and I sent them tracks of me playing the music, showing that I could do it. Like I went to Dallas and auditioned, absolutely crushed it. I knew both guitar parts, not even just mine. Like I didn't want to give anyone else a chance, and it was just the same way with Vital Remains when that opportunity came up. I knew Tony and the guys because we had played festivals and stuff. I met him in Mexico. No, actually, I met him like 10 years prior to that. One of my other bands opened for him when they come through. So I kind of met him in passing years ago, and then we kind of like reconnected. We played in Mexico. We opened for Slayer, the Antichrist, and Vital Remains was on the bill as well. And we like hung out and talked a little bit, and so like I guess a year later or something, they needed a vocalist. So I hit up Tony and I was like, hey man, I got you, and he treated me like everyone else. He was like, "Hey, there's close to 200 people that are auditioning for this. You're gonna have to wow me. I'm not just gonna give it to you because you have tour experience and all these kind of things. Because I told him I have everything on your checklist here, man. And so I had to do the same thing. I just every single day I worked on the material over and over and over and over. And then I went to Boston and auditioned, and they're like, "Cool, tour starts tomorrow." So
well, I mean, It's a good thing you were never used to sitting still anyhow. So,
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a career path that's like a hurry up and wait, kind of like the military. It's like
see, I'm
you
just,
jump at the chance, and then once you get there, then you got to sit there for a few hours, and then it's time to go again. So
see, I'm waiting for this once touring and everything starts back up where you end up having to play like three performances in a day.
I've had a few people mention that, and man, I have to say, I mean, I would
I
condition
mean, as
myself
if
to
it
be
wasn't,
ready.
as if it wasn't crazy enough. I mean, well,
Yeah.
on the bright side, you have it a little bit easier, obviously, getting ready for Nevalra and getting ready for Vital Remains. But I mean, but then you have all the costume and paint and everything like that for the Antichrist. Although that, if let's see here, if you did that, one would only hope that the Antichrist was at least at the end or the begin. Well, somewhere where you only had to do one real change, really. Although I
Yeah,
remember
that would be the only way logistically to figure it out, man. And honestly, I don't know if it would ever fit, but I have done Navalra the Antichrist on back to back sets for 6 weeks in Europe. I did back to back sets, and I think it was like 40 something shows, 42 shows, something like that. And man, I'm telling you, uh, like I said, I conditioned myself ahead of time as much as possible. So I was
right,
like trying to run like 2 miles a day leading up to that tour because I knew that when I got up there, I had to scream for Navalra and play our set, run backstage, get ready, and then get ready for another set for the Antichrist immediately.
right.
And I had to do that for 6 weeks straight, and I knew it was going to be challenging, but I never. I've never been so tired in my life.
Well,
So
Ashley
doing all
brings up.
three, I don't know.
So Ashley brings up a good point. What would you do if your band's any? Well, I mean, obviously, you'd kind of have to figure out what would work and where. But I mean, trying to schedule three touring bands. Although, I mean, Navalra, you have a little bit of flexibility because really, where you say that's more your say and how that goes.
Yeah.
Although the other two, not so much.
Yes, exactly. They'll just call me up and say, "Hey, we have this thing happening," and I'm like, "Cool." And we haven't had any conflict so far, which is really cool. I kind of told I'm upfront with everybody, So Tony from Vital Remains, he knows, and Andres from the Antichrist, he knows. Whoever books the dates first gets Scott, basically.
Right,
And
right.
there hasn't been any problems so far, and I'm just going to keep rolling as hard as I can. And if a problem ever were to, I'll have to figure it out when that day comes. But so far, we've been good.
That, and I mean, I've got to imagine too that, especially being, I mean, you've become significant parts. Well, especially for Vital Remains. I mean, you are the singer now. So
Yeah, frontman's a completely different thing.
right, they can't
It's
really just go on without you.
yeah, not easily. It's man, it's much harder to find replacements and like fill-ins than you'd ever imagine, and that's why like when these things came up, I wanted to knock it out of the park, and I I don't think you could find anybody, anywhere in my past that would say Scott showed up unprepared, and I don't want to ever have someone say that. So, when, like I said, I want everything I do to kind of raise the prestige of everything else I do. And, cause it's pretty cool. Like I'm on the Vital Remains tour and I got, people showing up, with Navalra albums for me to sign, and
Right.
then I'm going to, play a festival in South America with the Antichrist, and I got people coming up to me in Vital Remains shirts, and they're like, "Oh!" So it's pretty cool. Like it's a great like cross promotion for all of the bands. Honestly, it's only positive. So
So let's see here. Eric Overturf asking, how long does it take to put on all your stuff for the Antichrist?
it depends on how much time I have. If we're in a mad rush, which does happen, because we play a lot in South America and Mexico and Spanish speaking countries, because the Antichrist originated in Colombia. So the big bulk of the fan base is from South America and Spanish speaking countries. So, and when we're on tour in those areas, it's not like in North America or Europe. It's like we got to get through the Andes Mountains before we get to the next show,
Right.
and we're hopping flights to get from one show to another. It's not just like an 8 hour drive like it is in North America. So sometimes we show up, with very little time, prep time for that. So like I think the fastest I've ever got it done, um, it was in England because I was doing interviews leading up to the show, and I just spaced on it because we were talking, and I had two sets. So it was the Nevalra set that I was thinking I don't have to be painted for the Antichrist yet, but I forgot that I had the Nevalra set before the Antichrist set. I'm sitting there doing an interview, and they're like, "Man, you got 20 minutes," and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me," because if I have 2 hours, that makes me feel like I'm going to make it look really good. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to get creative. So it usually takes an hour and a half to 2 hours, to get it all the way I like it. Um, I can do it fast in 45 minutes. And if I have to do it really fast, I think about 20 minutes is the fastest I've ever got it done. So it's quite the process. It's
Oh,
head to
no,
toe, honestly. It's not just painting my face. So it's quite the process.
oh, no doubt. So, what's the quickest? What's the quickest Andreas actually can? Because I mean, that paint's not simple.
No, oh man. He's done it pretty fast too. I think when we did, um, if I had to guess, I would say, and he could probably tell you different, but the fastest I think I've seen him do it, um, once was in Germany and once was in Ecuador, for the same reasons. We were in Ecuador, and it took a really long time to get to that festival. We were playing with Vader. Um, and we got there, and he had to do it pretty fast. But I think the fastest he ever had to do was in Frankfurt, Germany. Um, and I remember I was rushing for that too because I had to be done for the Naval. I had to be mostly painted for the Navalra set too. And
Right.
basically, we were in the tour bus with the Karak Angren guys, and that we blew up the damn bus like legit. The engine blew, and we were on the side of the highway in Germany somewhere for like most of the day. And our tour manager Alexi, he's like, don't get on social media and tell anyone that we're broke down yet, because we're gonna make this thing. And so they brought us another bus. We got everything switched over. We showed up to Frankfurt, Germany, and it was all of the fans were outside waiting because we were like extremely late. And
Right.
so it was like a mad rush to get the gear in there, and not only get the gear in there, get sound checks and everything set up for just for the gear, but we had to get painted too. And I don't even know how fast he did it. Maybe an hour, I'd say, because he had our set list time and maybe a little bit more time. So
Right.
it's he definitely had to rush on that. That would be my guess, is maybe
Right.
maybe an hour or so if he had to
Still,
rush.
still, that's crazy.
So, but
So,
we've had him like painting in ridiculous areas too, all of us, because there's not always like an area for five of us to be painting, and it does take some time, and so we've had to like makeshift some places. Like I think he was painting on the bus actually on the way to that show, if I remember right. Like in the tour bus, he started his paint because it takes so long. So
right. So we have two very, very similar questions here. One from Ashley, who's your inspiration for playing and singing? Eric, actually, where do you find ideas for your music or lyrics? So same idea.
yeah, it's a tough question nowadays. It started with just like other bands, as a teenager or whatever, that I looked up to. I just wanted to like kind of take the best pieces from all my favorites, and leave out all the space filler, the best I
Right.
could. It's really hard to say nowadays because it feels like I will write differently depending on what I'm writing and who I'm writing for, and you know what I mean. Like it feels like Nevalra has like evolved a little bit to where
Mhm.
I'll write a thing that'll sound like it's death metal, and I'm like, but that doesn't sound like Nevalra. And then I'll write something that sounds black metal, and I'm like, well, that doesn't sound like Nevalra. So it's like it's a balance because that band kind of fits between all of those. So nothing super specific. It's more like um, just like ideas that kind of pop in my head. Like I don't have much time to really watch movies or anything, but like uh, while I will like miss a complete full scene of something in a movie, and I do it all the time because I realize that I'm listening to the music in the background and the score that they're
Right.
putting together behind it to change the moods when things are happening, you know. And then I'll realize that I missed the whole scene of what the hell actually happened, you know, because it's like the music is taking over in my brain, and then I'm like, oh, that's like a cool idea, but what if I instead of doing this, I could do this, and I could have the bass play that part, you know what I mean? So it's like it's nothing like super specific. It's like inspiration strikes in weird ways. So
So, all right. So, speaking along those lines, what's your favorite movie soundtrack?
oh man, I like just the big epic ones, you know, like the ones that are very involved music wise, you know, like Lord of the Rings, like Batman has all those big dark epic, just stuff like that.
I know I
Yeah,
was always
that's
a big fan of like Basil Paldoris stuff, like the Conan the Barbarian soundtrack, the Hunt for the Red October, all the stuff he did,
mhm.
just because it kind of had that whole epic feel to everything.
Oh yeah, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, those kind of things. You know, like if you can like tune out the actors and what's actually happening and just listen to the background music, it is like awe inspiring, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. So let's see. Another question came through. What gave you the idea for "It Dies in Vain"? My favorite track off the album from Eric.
Yeah, that's the main music video off of the Conjure the Storm album. Basically, I had most of the album written already for that album, um, and I realized that I had a couple songs in there like "Profit for Profit" and "Of Ruination" that were like heavy hitters, you know, and
Yeah,
then there was like a lot of the ballady type melodic songs that kind of meshed with the heavy. And when it came to "It Dies in Vain," I come up with like the first little the breaking out of the intro into the main riff, and then there's like some abstract parts on the guitar, and then it breaks into it. I had like that first third written, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be on the album or not because it didn't have a full song yet, you know. And then
right.
um, I realized that I needed to balance the heavy with the melody a little bit better, and I was like, if I'm going to do this, I need to make it the heaviest one on the album. I think, and "Profit for Profit's" pretty heavy, so I needed to like really go for it. And so "It Dies in Vain" was written to just punch you right in the mouth, honestly. And then when it came time to decide what singles were going to be, that one was thrown out there to do like the actual band performance music video because it's got some pretty crazy, you know, like individual, like all members have like a pretty difficult time getting through that song with, you know. So when we were like, all right, that's the performance music video because it has a badass, you know, guitar solo that's like it's not like the other ones, you know. It stands
Right.
out, but it still fits with the rest. And so we brought in Iron Elephant Studios from Baltimore. We flew them in, and you know they set up a whole bunch of lights, and we had just a stage set up, and he was like, "All right, this is what we're gonna do." And I mean, he kicked our ass all day, and it was like we were looking at each other like this had to be the song we played 48 times in one day. This is the one, you know. And so by the end of the day, man, we were just drenched in sweat, and we were just, you know, and he was motivating too, which was really cool. So he helped, you know, like really direct it. He didn't just like film it, you know. He was like, "We're gonna do 3 full song takes of just your hands on guitar. We're going to do 3 full song takes on just your hands on the bass. We're going to do 3 full takes on just your, and then he's like, but the drums has to be playing in the background, so you got to be playing every time, and I got to be screaming even when he's filming the drums in the back, and he was very motivating because we got to. I think he could tell that once we got pretty far into the filming, he was just like, all right, now you've played all of the amazing parts pristinely. He was like, quit playing pristinely and just give me the stage presence. Fucking go for it. And we cranked it and we just absolutely like went for it as hard as we could right there at the end, with no energy left at the end. And I think it came out like really, really badass, for like the way we just like set up and went, like
right.
Because he flew in and we picked him up from the airport while the other 2 of us were setting up, so when he showed up, it was like we were on the clock. It was time to go. So we're super pleased with that song. That's one of the better songs that almost wasn't on the album.
So one thing I was actually kind of curious about. So obviously I remember, I want to say maybe 2 years ago when we talked, and it might have even been before then, when you brought up the fact that I was surprised I didn't realize that Warlock had an acoustic guitar, and I see that you are going to be bringing that out for.
Yes, I have that somewhere. I got
tied.
Yeah, it's right. Look. It's usually packed away, but it's actually out because I was filming with it. So
right. What a cool guitar.
Yeah, they're pretty hard to find nowadays. So that's why, whenever we have anything acoustic wise, I try to pull that out, and everyone's like, "What in the hell?" A Warlock acoustic is just not a thing you see
often. My sound cut out on me for some reason. What the hell is my sound doing? Oh, I love technical difficulties. Hold on. Oh, there we go. All right, we're back.
Got me?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay. So yeah, we just filmed a video for Metal Injection, and so there's gonna be 2 videos actually. One of them is for Nevalra. We're playing one of our songs, and it's gonna be premiered on Metal Injection later this month. And then there's another one that's a cover song that has a bunch of us. They actually pulled me in. They were like, "We're working on this project for Metal Injection," and it's like a bunch of other notable guys and like some bigger bands and stuff. And so they were, they reached out to me and they were like, "Hey, we need you to see if you want to do this." I was like, honestly, man, I'm slammed the way it is, and I'm not sure I can fit this in easily. So I kind of like passively was like, I'm not sure, guys. And then they were like, well, what if we did this song so we could feature what you do, vocal wise? And I was like, whew. I was like, all right, I'm in. So it's like, so now we're going to have there's 2 videos I have coming out on Metal Injection later in the month. And one of them is a cover song with a bunch of other badass musicians that are in other bands. And one of them is Nevalra doing one of our songs.
Oh, that'll be cool though. So let's see. Now the other project that, like you said, you have mostly tracked. When do you think we're going to see that?
It was supposed to be 2020, but you kind of saw what happened there.
Right.
I guess we could have just released it and we still could just drop it, but we want to do it properly. We want to PR it. We want to, unroll an entire promo campaign for the album.
Right.
And hopefully have an album release tour, depending on the way COVID is. But yeah, the album is like, it's basically, it's done except for like, a few like guest things.
That's the one that I found out about by accident, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I've been like, I've talked about it a few times, but I don't give too much away on it because I want everyone to go, oh shit, when they see it.
Right, because I remember after an interview that I did over at I think it was over at Sonic Temple in 2019 that I found out that it's like, Oh yeah, I know, Scott. We're doing it's like, oh. Hey, I never put it on anything that was live.
So yeah, that's another thing. I'm pretty excited about that because it's different than everything else, and it's like the same thing. It's a bunch of insanely talented musicians all in one group, and it was actually kind of hatched out of something that we started, and it kind of like dissolved itself. There was supposed to be another band with a bunch of musicians, some of them in Europe and some of them over here in America. There were two of us here in America, and we were kind of moving at a pace that was kind of blowing everybody else away, and they were like, wait. It's cool. We love the initiative and we love the material that you're sending, but we want everyone involved, So it's like, because we just started sending them songs, and they were mostly together, minus some of the things that they would add. And so they like, hold up. And so the drummer, whom remains nameless for now, he called me up and he was like, "Hey, we're moving too fast for these guys. Uh, what do you think about just doing our own thing?" And I was like, I already have a whole different album tracked for something else that I don't have drums for it. I was like, I already have an album sitting here. And he was like, for real, send it all to me. And being as productive as he is, he like immediately tracked drums to it. And I was just like, oh, this is going to take off. And so then he reached out to one of his buddies who's an amazing bass player. And so he got involved. He was like, hey, I want to be part of this. So what was supposed to be just like an extra project I was working on the side, like turned into this group that has a bunch of like insanely talented musicians that I never would have thought, and
That doesn't
and
surprise
it's
me
just
though.
expanded from there. I sent just some of the rough mixes to my manager, Mark. And Mark from Misery Index. He's one of the managers that I work alongside, and he's the manager for Nevalra and Antichrist. So I sent him some of this material, just the rough mixes, and he was just like, I told him, I was like, I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm just going to release it, because I got all these other things going. And he goes, you're not just going to release it with it, by yourself. He was like, a label's going to want this. It's way too good for you to just self
Yeah.
release it, honestly. And I was like, all right, if you say so, like you're probably right. I need to like do it properly rather than just, I thought it was just going to be an extra cool little project, and it turned into something much bigger. And I hope when it does come out, it's going to wow everyone.
How full is your whiteboard right now?
I got one right here that's full. And of course my notebook's all over the place, but I got two guitars in front of it, or I would show you. But yeah, it's the one I got right here is completely full.
That doesn't even remotely surprise me. So, and then on top of that, like we mentioned a little bit before, you are doing band management and stuff like that now. How's that been going? Because I know we talked about it last time. Shit, like I said, it's been about a year now.
Mhm.
How's that all been rolling for you? Because I know that it was still a pretty fresh new experience when I talked to you last.
Yeah, it's basically everything I'm doing with all these other bands. It's like um, just the years of being on tour and putting out albums and working with record labels and PR companies and just like all the things that it takes to run the music industry. It's kind of like it mystifies a lot of bands. Like they know they want to put out cool music, but they have no idea of how to like do it properly. And get the right team working for you and how to even get a record label to look your direction and stuff like that. So that's kind of like my job is to kind of demystify the entire industry and like put them on the right path to doing everything properly rather than just like finishing a single and putting it out.
Oh, I'm sure they look at you half the time though and think, how the hell can we keep up with that?
Well, I don't know about, man, I'm just trying to push as hard as I can. Everybody's on a different pace, and everyone's further along on that road than others, depending on what bands you're working with and what, how many years you've been doing it. And so yeah, I just do my thing, and some of these bands that I manage with, they ask me about it when we have conference calls and stuff, and they're like, "What do you got going?" And they're like, "That's awesome," blah blah blah, and I'm like, "Yeah, you need to be doing this too." The thing I just, this is how you do it. You bring me this, and then I'll submit it, and we'll try to get you on the same thing. So
Right. So, what do you have going on right now?
oh man, just that is a huge question. It's we're right now. It's looking like the tours are going to start opening back up in the United States, at least for late 21. So we're hoping that some of those tours kind of pan out. There's a lot of things that have to fall into place. And all the bands and all the agents and everybody has to get it all together and packaged up properly and stuff. But it's looking like USA tours in late 21, and Europe should open up in early 22. And I'm hoping I'm going to be part of any and all of that. So,
well, let's see. Hopefully, in 2022, you can break your the amount of countries in 1 year hit.
man, I'm going to try. It might be 23 would be a better viable, I guess, solution to that problem, because I think it's going to take a little bit of time. Every country has their own rules and regulations. So it's going to be difficult to do some tours and stuff. Because once you enter, I don't know, it depends. Italy and Germany, and they're all going to have different regulations depending on where they are with where COVID is and stuff. So, but the vaccines are helping, and it's looking like the floodgates are going to open at some point soon, and it's going to be crazy because nobody's seen a show in over a year, and I don't want to hear the "I'll catch you next time" ever again. I'll catch you the next time you're in town, because obviously we always hear that a lot, and it's like once everyone's allowed to finally get to a show, you all better be at some shows.
No kidding. I'm hankering for it. I miss it badly. So
yeah, absolutely.
Well, so before we go, because I know you have a couple of calls you need to get on with, actually. So the bands you are working with. Any final notes before you head out? Obviously, there's so many social medias for you now at this point, if you're counting all the bands and everything too.
Oh man, I mean, you guys basically know where to find everyone: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Just look up all the bands: Nevalra, The Antichrist, Vital Remains. We're going to be pushing hard when this COVID finally releases its hold on the world. And until then, just check out our stuff. All of the bands, honestly, buy their merchandise. Everyone's hurting. Everyone's trying to put their money together, so they can go on tour when the time comes. So we're all trying to make smart decisions and put out cool merchandise. And so that's basically it. Just I appreciate the support worldwide, honestly, and hopefully I'll be seeing everyone soon.
All right, man. Well, as always, it is good talking to you. I always love catching up with you. And
absolutely, I appreciate you having me on the show.
Well, hopefully soon be able to get to see you in person here, opposed to hoping and praying that everything will actually get to regular live shows again. So
it's looking like it's coming. So
yep. All right, man. Well, you have a good one. We will catch up soon, and hey, hope you stay happy, stay healthy, all that fun shit. All right.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on the show. I'll talk to everyone later.
All right. Later, man. All right, guys, that was Scott Eames from Nevalra, The Antichrist, Vital Remains. You can find out all their stuff all over the social medias. If you want to listen to any of that stuff, it's good stuff. I know Nevalra just released some new merch and stuff like that here recently. So, but really, like you said, buy merch, all that fun shit. That being said, now we're going to get into the bullshitting portion. Why? Because that's what we do here. We'll go ahead and pull in Adam. Yo.
What's up, dude?
Yo.
How's Florida?
Oh my God. So exhausting. So damn exhausting. Like, it was so much fun, but I'm I got home yesterday. It's like 8 a.m, and just like passed the fuck out. So
Yeah, I know. We barely heard out of you all day, didn't chat, and it's like, what are we doing this week? Everybody trying to find out. It's like there's nothing from you, barely.
right. I mean, I got battle plans and stuff because obviously we got a bunch of now that it looks more and more like festivals are happening. Well, we got to prepare ourselves for them. So,
Right.
but yeah. So there's been some fun music news over the last week or two. Obviously, I wasn't on last week because, well, I was hanging out with alligators and trying to bring one home, and nobody would let me.
Yeah, where is Bob anyway?
Bob is still in Florida.
He was like, I know where you from, bitch. And I'm staying my ass right here.
Right. He's like, nah, too cold. No. Hard pass. Let's see here. So today itself is the 27-year anniversary of Cobain dying. Also the 19-year anniversary of Lane dying.
Yep.
So April 5th is always a weird day when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And,
also, my littlest brother turned 8. Let's see. 30. I'm trying to do the math. 34.
34?
Yeah. Or no, I'm sorry. 30. Wait, 85. 30.
85. Why did you say 85?
Well, he was an 85 baby, so I was trying to say
1985. Okay, I got you.
Well, he'll be 40 in 2025, so I was trying to do the math. It's Monday. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm 38. I was born in 82, so I'll be 39 this year, though. So
I'll be 40 in September.
Yeah, see, you're not that much different in age to me. We're the old fucks that everybody makes fun of.
Yeah, we're the grandpas.
That's all right. I look younger than most of them anyhow. I don't give a shit.
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm turning 40 and I still get carded, like everywhere. I'm like, okay, here's my card.
I don't get carded so much if I keep the facial hair, but if I shave, holy shit, I get carded everywhere.
Oh, I can see the baby face on you underneath.
Oh
that
yeah,
beard.
well, like now when I'm skinnier, it's a little bit better. It doesn't look quite as young, but I'm fat, so it adds a little chub to it, you know. But let's see what other fun shit. So I want your take on this. The whole Little Nas X thing.
I want to say a little, not our style though, but a little mistake happening with DMX over the weekend.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, so it's been pretty well documented he's been pretty honest about it over the years that he has struggled with substance abuse and stuff like that. And he so DMX had overdose and then had a heart attack while in the hospital, and now he is on life support. That's first off, I mean, from everybody that I've talked to that has met him or that has gotten to know him in any way or anything like that, apparently he's always been just super genuine dude, generally ingratiating. And I know a lot of people in my life that have had struggles with substance abuse and stuff like that, and I have a lot of sympathy for that. It's because I mean it is a disease. It's not for any of the people out there that are like, oh well, they just shouldn't be doing it. Well, first off, fuck you. I mean, I know that's not the answer at all people are necessarily going to want and everything like that, but I'm very much a believer that it's not a simple matter of just quitting or anything like that. I mean,
not when you're so used to it. Your body's used to it. Your body craves it.
Right. I mean, there's a literal physical addiction, and then there's a literal mental addiction to go along with it. And unless you've ever dealt with addiction or anything like that, you're not going to really know what it's like to battle through that. Or, you know, and there's plenty of people that I've known in my life that have gone through that, a lot of family and stuff like that. And I've seen it take people's lives.
For example, their anniversary of Kurt and Lane, you know, what they were going through.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny too, because I made a post earlier. I can't remember whether it was today or another day or something like that, talking about like depression and stuff like that. And, you know, depression also a disease, and one thing I've always hated is when people approach it in the whole aspect of like, it's like, oh, just cheer up, it's just like, you know, just tough it out, so and so. Well, first off, none of that shit's helpful. It's not just one of those, it's like, oh, why didn't I think of that before? What, you don't think I have fucking trying to get past it, or, you know, I'm trying to cheer up? You think that this is exactly how I want to be with my fucking time?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like it's like, you know, of all the cool things I could be doing, I decided to be just fucking like almost immobile because of depression or some shit like that. No, fuck you. Of course I didn't want this. But, you know,
nobody ever does. You know, it can come down to, you know, a lot of different tragedies, you know, losing your mom, losing your dad, losing best friends. It could come with people constantly putting you down also and stuff. So, well, there's a lot of different factors that play into the reason why people become depressed. And there's a lot of different reasons. And
there's one thing on top of that too, though. It doesn't necessarily have to have a fucking reason. That's another thing that I don't think people realize, that there's points where I've gone through where everything is looking up for me. Everything is good. Everything that could possibly make me happy is making me happy, and everything's great. And then all of a sudden, it's just, hey, I'm here to fuck your day up. Oh, cool, great. What the fuck?
Right? I was having such a good Monday.
That's cool. Like it's basically like depression. Go, hey, hold my beer.
Oh, you mean you said 2020 wrong?
Right. So yeah, you gotta fucking love that.
Otherwise, that and what other news you got for us today?
Let's see. Just announced that for anybody who's a wrestling fan out there, Ash Costello of New Year's Days going to be at WrestleMania 37, I think it is.
Yeah.
So, which I like the fact that, so WWE's always been kind of weird about how they do their musical guests and stuff like that for the big events. And one thing I've kind of dug though, like, so they have like the side brand NXT, that the entire run of it, they've been very, very big on bringing in metal bands and stuff like that. Code Orange has done stuff with them. And they've just done a really good job of keeping like almost that rock metal vibe and stuff like that. And it's kind of nice to be seeing something of that nature in the bigger show type thing now, because it's just one of those things of I always feel like, you know, rock and metal representation kind of gets lowered down a little bit in regular mainstream stuff. I mean, hell, look at like Grammys and things of that nature. So, looks like Ashley decided to join us again. Ashley Roberts, hello again.
Damn creeper.
Yeah, she was creeping on my interview with Scott there. So, but yeah, I'm definitely happy to see that, though, with, I mean, really anything that like it always seems like rock and metal are on the edge of being like sort of being the status quo, but never quite. So anytime I see anything like this where it's primarily, you know, showcased, I'm going to be happy. So.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, wrestling, you kind of have to look at it as like it's such an extreme sport, so why not have extreme music? You know, You know, a lot of the wrestlers, you know, they kind of do have their hard rock, their metal intros and stuff like that, but why not have something overall like associated with it. I mean, yeah, you sit there and buy like the WWE games and stuff like that, and I mean, going back to my boys in Nonpoint, they were in, what was it, 1990?
Actually, it was one of the. I think they were in. Well, let's see here. They've been in a couple of the games because when I was younger, I played a lot of the game, like the SmackDown versus Raw and stuff like that. And actually, that's how I got introduced to 3 Days Grace. Actually, was from those games. Because they and let's see here. I think Chevelle is. There's a lot of video games that have kind of introduced me to different bands over the years. So like I want to say Chevelle in one of those. I know that Emphatic and honestly Nonpoint, I'm pretty sure was because of one of those. I know Skindred was because of Need for Speed Underground 2 is what introduced me to Skindred. But I always.
And for those who don't know who Emphatic is now Through Fire.
Through Fire. Yeah. Well, kind of. I mean, they kind of did their whole thing on there, and I think the only person from Emphatic that's still part of Through Fire, Justin. Yeah, so
Justin McCain, yep.
And I always feel bad when I'm around Justin because like anytime we take a picture, he looks like a fucking kid next to me.
And he's older than us. He actually just had a kid, just went into college. I think this was her first year, actually. She's a freshman in college. But he's like 42, 43 years old. And when you look at Justin, it's like, dude, you don't look any older than like 26, 27.
Well, he looks like a kid. Well, on top of the fact that I'm also 6'2" and I'm a big dude. Justin literally looks like he could be my kid. Okay.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You aren't wrong.
So, the damn song and Need for Speed Underground. What the Skindred song? Nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the one that had some good stuff in there. It had Clutch in there, had all kinds. I mean, like all the Tony Hawk games that came out, stuff like that. I mean, there's so much.
Those older games, they had the best music soundtracks. Now, don't get me wrong, it's like some of them are okay today, but a lot of them are now associated with more or less on the rap hip hop side of things more than rock or metal, even though they're extreme sports games or extreme, Battlefield, Call of Duty, stuff like that. If you listen to a lot of,
what I actually did
commercials or whatnot, they're not really putting rock even in there at all.
What was good? What was a good soundtrack though? So I don't know if you played Cyberpunk at all.
I did a couple times when it was like it's beta.
Okay. So, well, all right. So with Cyberpunk, the soundtrack that came, one of the channels is like straight up metal. I mean, like not like for the faint of heart metal. So I was a big fan of that. And then they had a lot of rock, a lot of industrial. Well, you got to, I feel like if you're going to do like a game that's kind of like has futuristic sort of, cyberpunk period.
You think industrial.
Right. You got to have some industrial in there. So, Ashley says, Adam, apparently but I've always been big on industrial. Like I listened to a shitload of industrial growing up. I was like especially like high school. I was the weird kid in high school that I was in sports and stuff like that, but I was the kid listening to like KMFDM, Frontline Assembly, shit like that. Like where let me tell you how many kids weren't listening to Vumpscut when they were in high school. So but I always thought it was kind of neat too, because it's like I've gotten to actually know a lot of those people I used to listen to at this point.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like with me working actually for bands that I grew up listening to. It's like, or even working alongside. It's like, heard Nonpoint 98, 99. The first album stuff. I heard Powerman 5000, Dima, Korn. All those dating back. Then all of a sudden now it's like starting 2015, I'm working with Nonpoint, and then a couple years ago, I was stage managing for Edema, and then working for Head PE. 25 years ago, they've been around, so it's like okay, I never thought of like sitting here working for bands that I grew up listening to. It's like weird,
Right.
And trust me, a lot of people back home, it's like they're like, holy shit! It's like you really went out and chased after this. It's like I remember when we were just listening to this, back in high school, and then now here it is. I know somebody working for the damn band.
You know what? I have a question for you on that particular subject. So, how many people do you know that you grew up with that fucking were assholes to you or didn't talk to you and stuff like that? That as they figured out what you were doing and stuff like that, and life started hitting you up all of a sudden.
I really don't want to say that they were assholes, but it was more or less couldn't be part of their crowd or their
Right.
friend base and stuff like that. See, I was also, the kid. I played sports. I was on the basketball, baseball, football team and stuff like that. But they were all wearing Abercrombie and Fitch, American Eagle, Grateful Dead shirts, Led Zeppelin, Doors, stuff like that. I'm over here wearing System of a Down, Limp Bizkit, Korn, Pantera, and I had the baggy pants on, not Jinkos. Oh. Just to make that aware, I did not wear Jinkos.
I did. Let's see. I did I had Jinkos. I had kickwears. I'd walk.
Adidas shoes.
And I'd go to my practices like that. Everybody's in there. Either preppy or jockish clothes, and I'm the dude wearing band shirts and stuff. Yeah, I was that kid. So, but I had plenty of people that I grew up in a mostly white suburb, and for the most part, the people were decent and everything like that. But one thing you find in that is, number one, a lot of the people there didn't have a lot of world experience as far as dealing with stuff. Everybody was kind of low key racist, and on top of that, I didn't look like the rest of them either, so I got a lot of shit for that because I'm part Japanese, and it showed even more when I was younger and everything like that. Especially if you're going to school with a bunch of kids that are like, almost down the line European descent, having just that little bit of difference, you're going to stand out. So, and but I had like kids that just were fucking miserable to me when I was a kid, and that hit me up later on in life. So, oh, hey, how are you? It's like, oh, I see what you're doing. Cool. It's like, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if do you ever get like tickets or anything? It's like, motherfucker, here it comes again. It's just like, it was like, yes, I've my general go-to line is, absolutely, I can get you tickets. They're this much.
I would say honestly, it's like I'll just put it in the last 6 years, even though last year was pretty much canceled. It's like my time getting through, Peoria. I'm gonna say the very first Nonpoint show that I worked for them was actually at the Limelight in Peoria. But ever since then, it's mainly like Joliet or Chicago or St. Louis. So Peoria, even though it is a very big music scene there, as far as the Peoria Civic Center is concerned, and then there are B market venues like the Twisted Spoke. I would say the next closest one outside of that now is hitting the Forge in Joliet or the Looney Bin in Bradley, and you're talking 45, 50 minutes from Peoria. So some people do have the nerve to sit there and actually want to travel that far, but then some of them are just like, I'll just wait till they come to Peoria. But the likely chance for them to be coming through Peoria, because unless you're playing the Civic Center, which is an arena, they never really actually get a lot of bands that go specifically right through Peoria. They're either hitting Pekin, Bradley, Joliet, Chicago. So So the chances of me really like running into that or actually, getting that in my inbox is very rare, I will say.
Right. Which honestly is a good thing. I mean,
So
Ashley's like, now they
Yeah.
want to be your friends. Okay, can you get me tickets? Who wore Dickies? What are you saying? Adam wore Dickies?
No, they weren't even Dickies. It was like the Hot Topic clothes. So it was like they'd be like olive green, or they would
Ooh,
be
I had
like
some.
the black.
I had some
baggy.
caffeine. I think I had like caffeine pants at one point and stuff like that from Hot Topic, and like because I started wearing the.
Where the I would say you can unzip them; they turn into shorts, or you can zip them back up and they turn into pants.
Or like some of them had like fucking straps that fucking like hit points where. Still wear Hot Topic clothes. Shit, I haven't been in a Hot Topic, and I don't know how fuck. No, let me take it back. No, my kids wanted to go because they wanted anime shirts, so that's the last thing I've got. Hey, look, my shirts are either band shirts that I got on tours or like ordered directly from bands.
That's the only way I'll actually get band shirts anymore is if they're on tour or find patches. Yeah,
right. Like
because
this shirt is a dude that was doing a clothing company for a few years, and although he just quit doing it, but this was his brand. All my stuff. I hate Hot Topic. Plus, Hot Topic like turned into this weird the emo phase like made it change very drastically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all like Harry Potter stuff, anime stuff, Pokemon stuff, Bakugan, Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, as soon as you walk into the front, it's all that. And so, if you want anything band related, you have to go to the back of the store.
Right.
So
yeah. Look, I spent all my money on shit that I absolutely don't need at this point. This stuff I think I needed, but fuck it. But then I spent like $400 on like lightsabers and shit like that, and like over at Disney World. Oh, no, seriously, no, wait. Let's see. I got this one.
Oh snap!
Right. So wait. Oh wait. I got more. Got what? Let's see here. You get the Mace Windu one that's purple, but you can't tell. So yeah, because I'm a fucking nerd.
Why? So how many did you bring back? 7, 8?
No, just the 2. Well, one of them is my kid. I got it for my kid, and the other one is mine. Because I'm a fucking nerd, and I'm okay with that. I got them Jedi robes too.
I think I saw those in your pics. Those are actually pretty dope.
Yeah, my other daughter has like the black Sith robes and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, one's mine. The Kylo Ren one's mine for right now until I go. I'm probably going back to Disney in December with my girlfriend, and we're going to we couldn't get when my kid and my mom and I went this last week. We couldn't get booked the thing to actually make our own lightsabers because I would have rather done that. But when I go back in December, I'm doing that, and then my other kid's going to get the Kylo Ren one, and I'll have whatever one I make. So, I will totally do that.
I thought it was actually probably the sickest lightsaber out of the whole series of them. His was the best. I mean, Darth Maul's was okay with the 2-ended, and
that was bomb as fuck when it came out though. Like that movie might not have been good, but like I had that movie on VHS right after it came out, and literally the quality of the movie got shitty right around the lightsaber duel. Like the during the lightsaber duel, like the quality got really bad on there because I knew the movie wasn't that good, but I'd fast forward to the fucking lightsaber fights. And it got worn down on there. So
Darth Maul really, as much of a character that a lot of people made him out to be, he didn't have that long of a part.
No.
At all.
He kind of was there.
I want to know the whole story behind him because I mean he was a cool looking character.
Okay, so in my additional nerdiness, there's a lot more that goes into him and like all the other stuff now, like in like Clone Wars and stuff. Like they brought him back. They eventually they gave him some fucking robot legs because, huh?
The cartoon Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Okay,
like,
yeah, I haven't really ever watched any of those. So
that, and he was actually, and he had a cameo type deal at the end of the Solo movie, the one with the one they did recently, the one that it didn't do so well in the theaters. Like I can't remember what the dude is who played Han Solo, but fucking Donald Glover, Childish Gambino played Lando Calrissian though, and honestly, he was a, the movie wasn't bad, good, or otherwise. I mean, it was all right, but he was fucking fantastic in that.
So then, are you all? Well, I'm pretty. This is probably just a stupid question, but you're probably all caught up on the Mandalorian then.
Oh yeah.
I would say, have you heard anything on when the new next 6 are coming out?
Who knows? At this point, they're Mandalorian. I think. Well, they have to change some of the plans as far as some of the stuff they're doing series wise, anyhow, since they fired Gina Carano, and they were going to be doing some specific shit with her.
Which one was that?
The one that played Cara Dune, the Republic trooper.
She
was a Gina Carano. She was a MMA fighter and stuff like that too.
Big beefy chick.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I got this like what is it? Tervis cup that was like $40 fucking bucks, and I don't care. That at Disney World. So
TV Yoda, or I'm sorry, Grogu.
Oh well, no, that's not even it. I've had this. I have a little bobblehead with the frog with the frog sticking out of the mouth.
That's awesome. Where'd you get that?
My kid actually got it for me for Christmas. So, and then I have this little thing that my other kid 3D printed over at her mom's for me. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed of the fact that I'm nerdy as hell. It's all right. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Well, hell, actually, even my coffee cups. Look, let's see here. I got one Imperial mug here. I have this first order mug that I just got over at Disney.
There you go.
Like, so I have nerdy Star Wars stuff all over the place. So it's
actually, how was the atmosphere actually down there?
Oh, holy shit, it was cool. Not to mention, Disney's actually a lot better when
it's not so overfilled.
There's not. Yeah, exactly. So, all right, let's see. Oh, Ashley's asking if we saw the new Mighty Ducks series. I have not yet. I've been meaning to because
I can tell it's going to start slow, and it has. It started very slow, so we'll see if it picks up.
I've been watching the Winter Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
that's what I've been watching lately.
Bruce and are very heavily into that. Yeah, the mighty Gordon's gone back to being a drunk, being an asshole.
Right.
Has nothing he wants. He doesn't want anything to do with hockey at all.
So he sounds like it. So he's typecasting himself as a Sheen. I got you.
Yes.
Or an Estevez. I mean, because they're one and the same. You know.
Yeah.
For those who I can't imagine anybody doesn't realize at this point that Emilio Estevez is Charlie Sheen's brother, and and Martin Sheen's kid. Yeah.
But I mean, it looks like it can take off. I mean, it's the typical, D1, D2, D3. They're a starter hockey team, and they literally are wearing football helmets and bike helmets on the ice rink.
Look, here's what throws me off. So, I was a big fan of the Marvel shows and stuff like that were coming out on Netflix when they were doing them, and like, I didn't realize until like somebody pointed out that the kid who played Fulton like the big kid that kicked everybody's ass in the show.
Yeah,
is the short, chubby dude from fucking Daredevil who plays Foggy Nelson, his lawyer, his partner. That's
Daredevil
literally
show?
The Daredevil show. Like the
I
Netflix one.
haven't watched any of the Netflix series ones yet. I need to.
Wait. Like, so I mean, he looks all right. So he looks completely different now.
Oh, I can imagine.
And like he is. Hold on a second. I got to bring up a picture of this dude.
Well, like, did you watch The Walking Dead at all?
I did, but I quit watching like after they got to Salvation.
Okay. I got caught up through season 10, and there's this. I would say you probably, like I said, you haven't probably seen when Alpha and the whole Whisperers came in or whatnot.
No,
but there's a guy in there who's called Beta, which is obviously her number 2 or whatnot. And I'm thinking, but I can't really tell because it never gets a really good glimpse of it. But do you remember the guy that played Bertier in Remember the Titans? He was also in Sons of Anarchy.
Oh yeah, and actually he's in Paradise City. I've been watching that.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but I think he's actually Beta in The Walking Dead. But you can never really get a good portrayal of who it is that's actually playing him. Because the beard looks the same as it was in Sons of Anarchy, just a little gray here, gray there. Obviously, for show featuresque and stuff like that.
Right.
Holy crap, he has changed.
Yeah. Yeah, look at
Oh, super weird.
Right? Yeah, I mean, like he's like short, like he ended up not being a very tall dude, which threw me off because like Fulton, the character was so much fucking bigger. But yeah,
well, they portrayed him, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, let's see. I think Adam already pretty much answered that he watched all 3 of them. Is he also in the Butterfly Effect? Who's in the Butterfly Effect? I don't know who the fuck's in the Butterfly Effect. I don't think I ever watched that.
Well, I would say the show or the movie. I know the movie, it was Ashton Kutcher.
Right. Let's see here. She was saying hush about something. I don't know. I wasn't keeping up with Ashley's comments. My bad. Sorry, Ashley. The movie he said he was the Dorsey friend.
Well, unless you have AMC or Prime and actually paid for season 10, it's not available on Netflix to watch yet. So you have to either have AMC on demand or you have to have Amazon Prime to catch season 10.
I have too many services at this point, too many streaming services. Oh, Ashley says she doesn't want to pick up Walking Dead. She's on season 9, so. All right. What else we have news-wise? Vicky Cornell, Soundgarden. I'm sure you've seen some of that shit back and forth because Vicky Cornell's like fighting the band for social media rights and stuff like that for Soundgarden now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's like it depends on who you're talking to and where you're reading on who feels who's right in it and everything like that. A lot of the fans obviously are like, fuck Vicky Cornell. She's holding back legacy and stuff like that. And you know what? There's always more to it than that. And I think that fans and stuff like that tend to give like blind devotion a lot of times to like the idea and make enemies out of people. That's not shouldn't necessarily be the case. Some case maybe, but I think it's one of those things that it seems like I think the media is making it worse on that one.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly. So I don't know. Hopefully they figure that shit out soon. Let's see. What else? Oh, Elton John and Metallica just did something.
Uh-oh. What Lars do now?
Metallica and Elton John.
What?
Yeah, you heard me. Look, I say that it can't be any worse than Lulu was. And here's the thing. I say that being a Lou Reed fan. I grew up on Lou Reed, but that was a fucking atrocity.
Right.
And I say Elton John and Metallica can't be any worse. But then again, Metallica has surprised me many times with can they do worse? So,
yeah.
I mean, look, between Lulu and Saint Anger, I pretty much dropped out of the game completely. So,
well, that's why you won't find Metallica on our playlist.
Right. Well, at least not yours and mine.
No. I listen to the heavier stuff than Metallica.
Right. Let's see here. Actually, here's an interesting one. The whole, like, all right, so there's all the media controversy over Lil Nas X, the rapper,
the one that collabed with
originally with Billy Ray Cyrus, like the Old Town Road. But now he has the one video that he's lap dancing on the devil and stuff like that, and or however that. I haven't actually seen the video, but here's my thing. So, all right, so he caught a lot of flack because he released shoes that were like Nike customs that had like 666 and shit like that on there.
Right.
And Christian conservatives are super salty about all of this, especially like, oh, you can't make the devil. Well, first off, why the fuck can't you make the devil gay? It doesn't matter. Who cares? Number two, I still to this day have not seen that video, the music video. However, anybody who can piss off the religious right like that. And here's the thing, I'm actually kind of lean on the conservative side on a lot of stuff, but not when it comes to stuff like that. I'm very liberal minded when it comes to first off, I just don't think there should be censorship.
I really haven't followed this story at all or yet even heard about it, but I mean, just going off what you're saying, I think it's also the very heavy Christian fainted hearts that also wear Nikes, and seeing that Nike made a custom shoe with
it wasn't Nike that did it. It was another, like, they took the shoe model and modified it, but still,
okay.
But I look at it this way. Anybody who can piss off the Christian religious right like that rapidly and that absolutely is fucking fantastic, and I'm okay with them. Look, anybody who can make Tipper Gore basically shit her pants, I'm gonna be happy with. Anybody who wants anybody who wants like censorship or anything like that and keep pushes towards that, and it makes them that upset, good.
I think that was right. Beta is Ryan the dude from Ryan Hurst.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, he's in Paradise City. I've been watching that too.
I was just like, man, just his facial features look so familiar, and I said to myself, I was just like, I think that's the dude from Sons of Anarchy, because I mean the figures there, how huge he was, how big he was. I was like, I swear to God, I know it is. I know it, even though there's no clear definition of knowing who it is. Right. I was like, man, I know I've seen this figure before.
So let's see here. What else? Other fun stuff we have here. So here's what we can talk about a little bit, just because we do some work with one of the guys from the band. Saliva just released Every 20 Years, which was it every 6 seconds, or was it? Yeah, that was basically. It was they did a new performance of all of that, obviously with Bobby singing and stuff like that, and so that's cool stuff.
And that whole first album.
Yeah, and honestly, you know what? I've never made much a secret of the fact that I've never been that big of a listener to Saliva. Although honestly, I've always enjoyed. I personally always enjoyed Bobby more than Josie, mostly because
Right.
Bobby's never been a train wreck.
Sure. Well,
Which,
I was saying, like, Bruce and Suzanne actually just played with Bobby acoustically on Saturday. He was actually at our venue here in Virginia
okay,
Beach and doing his acoustic stuff, and
cool
they
dude.
played with him.
Yeah, super cool dude too. And honestly, I mean, like, it's.
Oh, I was gonna say,
You know,
even when we were down in the Days Fest, my first time with him he was out hanging with the crowd, all the other bands and stuff like that. So, I mean, for somebody to come off the bus, obviously, he loves having the relationship with his fans and friends and other bands and stuff like that. So yeah, he's always been very down to earth,
which is a really cool thing to see. I mean, like, honest, because yeah, they're not quite as prominent as they were in years past and everything like that. But it's nice to I'm always happy when bands are, kind of keep grasp on who they are as far as with dealing with people, with the fans that brought them any prominence in the first place. I mean, there's some bands that are great examples of that, like Papa Roach, because that's like one of those bands that has always been super accessible. And not that they need to be that accessible or anything like that, but it's a good. I think it's a good thing. It's good to have bands that make sure that connection is there.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, especially as huge as Papa Roach is, and a lot of these other bands, to sit there and actually still, I mean, yeah, granted they have their VIPs that you used to pay for and stuff like that, but there are still those them even for example, and my guys in Non-Point stuff like that actually still come out to the merch table, even though it's like they had there are some of the bands where it's like, in order to meet us, you have to buy your VIP stuff. That's it. We're not going to come out as the. But then you have your actually bands that actually still, yeah, we have our VIP section, which is exclusive face to face type ordeal. But now it's like, hey, come see us after our set. We'll be at the merch, sign anything that you bought earlier, or if you missed our VIP, come hang out with us for a little bit. We'll be hanging out with you guys for a little bit until it's time to leave or until the venue closes. And so there are still a lot of bands out there that don't want to say have that like very high up complex.
Yeah, let's see. One of the bands that I grew up listening to that I always loved is King's X.
Okay.
And that's one of the things I've always loved about them. To this day, they still, after their performance, they're at the merch table. And it's not even people that just bought stuff. They'll hang out. They'll sign everything that anybody wants. They're super fucking cool. And
absolutely,
that's actually one of those bands that I always thought was so fucking underrated.
There are a lot of bands that are super underrated, but I mean, it is what it is. But they still have the huge followings that they do. Granted, they didn't sit here and have a Grammy or or number one on Billboard, so on and so forth.
Right.
But they still hold themselves as being that having those standards as if they did. So they don't sit there and let it like stop them from what they're doing.
Yeah, which, like I said, it's always a good thing. So festivals. Do you think any of the festivals are going to get shit canned this year? The ones that are still actually in the running?
I'm still weary on the West Coast. Anything happening on the West Coast? I know.
I am too.
Aftershock keeps saying that it's going to happen, but it's
But they kept
like,
saying all the ones last year were going to happen too.
yeah,
With the way everything's been lining up, it doesn't. It's still West Coast is
everywhere
iffy.
else I don't have a benefit of a doubt at all that they're still going to happen. As
Like
it's like,
louder than life will happen. Incarceration will happen maybe at full capacity, maybe.
yeah,
It's kind of up in the air on it'll happen though. Blue Ridge will happen. The one thing I hate is the fact that everything is happening all at fucking once.
yes, but yeah, I'm with you on that one. Just for the fact of like, I mean, there's even two festivals that a lot of people wanted to see separately that are actually happening the weekend of the third weekend of September, like the 21st to the 24th. You have Louder Than Life, and then you also have Rebel Rock.
Yep.
So either one, you're going to Kentucky, or two, you're going to Florida. So you really don't.
Incarceration and Blue Ridge, I think, are happening the same weekend too, if I'm not mistaken.
September 9th through the 12th.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only reason I think it's feasible right now is because I don't think everything's going to be at full capacity. So
yeah,
there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to get into the one they want to necessarily.
Which kind of reserves them being able to attend the other one.
Right. And hopefully once next year rolls around, we'll be back to some semblance of normal.
Yeah. We can pray, we can hope.
Yeah. Fuck, it is what it is.
I will say it's you're in Columbus, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I will get with you off here, but I'm kind of doing it also publicly, just to let you know, is that we, as Magdalene, I'm not going to release any other news or information, will be in Columbus in August. So there will be a show, there will be a tour happening, but Columbus, you know I got you. Come on out. I'll also get you all set up for actual physical interviews also, which I think would be pretty cool to sit here and have for our shows. So I will see you in August, if not sooner.
While I don't have a lot of parking space, I do have enough space that I could pretty much put up the band if need be while you guys are in Columbus. So
that'll be dope. I had to look at the schedule also to see if we have traveled.
Let me know, obviously.
Oh yeah, always. So yes, for Ashley's question, we do have a tour coming up in August. Details are still getting finalized.
Forthcoming.
And we are waiting on the headliner to announce, and that's it. Otherwise than that, we actually have a show with Adelita's Way coming up May 25th. In Virginia Beach, May 28th, May 29th, we are with Tantric in North Carolina. Let's see. I'll say, actually, should announce as far as this week. What do we actually got stuff coming up as far as Asylum this month?
Yes, but I don't know what our schedule is looking like. I know it exists. I know the schedule exists.
It's
like there are things that are happening at times in places. The end.
Well, you've been on vacation for the last week, so.
Oh yeah, I've been out of the fucking loop, so.
You got a lot of catching up to do.
I got a lot of back end paperwork that needs to get done, actually. So, but that's all right. I'm good at that shit. So
I would say, how much stuff do you have to fix that your colleagues, messed up?
Well, I gotta. Takara and I need to go over, make sure that we have all of our media proposals and all that stuff, all the fun stuff that goes in behind the scenes as far as getting coverage for festivals and shows. That is we kind of took that over just because, well, it's easier. It's better at any time that stuff's coming from like specific people opposed to
Absolutely.
everybody. And plus shit gets mixed up, and PR people and bands don't like it when they get more than one request for the same fucking thing from the same fucking people. So it's just a matter of keeping everything good. And then us souping up our radio stuff and starting to make a push on what we're doing on weekends and stuff to bring our presence up, because all that fun stuff, all this, I like that stuff. All of that's the type of stuff that probably bores the shit out of people. So
no, absolutely.
I like the details.
And a lot of details that you've been like gone for a week from.
Yeah, I mean, I got some idea. I've been kind of keeping up with stuff, but I was also trying to actually take advantage of my vacation. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Got to get away sometimes, because I also have my day job.
Well, I was gonna say, as far as like for Midwest and asylums, we definitely are looking at a busy summer, fall. Super busy. Venues opening up, festivals out.
Then we got to make and stupid details that nobody thinks about. Like, we got to make sure our people that are covering stuff probably get vaccinated, because a lot of the things aren't going to let us in unless we're fucking vaccinated. So, nature of the beast, doesn't matter whether you like it or not. That's part of the deal.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Nobody told you that the drugs are just going to be vaccines.
So it should be sex, vaccines, and rock and roll.
Masturbation, vaccines, and rock and roll. There we go.
Absolutely.
But got to do it.
Yeah,
got to do it. It's just part of the game.
We are all yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
So your place is sounding kind of crazy right now.
A little bit.
Mine is, I have teenagers that don't want to do anything but watch YouTube and shit like that, so my place is quiet.
Well, that's just because you're in your bedroom.
Well,
everything's in your bedroom.
I mean, yeah. Look, half my bedroom's really cool. The other of it's just a fucking bed. But I hid my kid. Ashley says I hid my kitty. I did. Well, I didn't do my kids. My kids have put my cat on exile. That way, like in the middle of doing interviews and shit like that, she wasn't jumping on stuff. So, because she's been pissed off and needy since I got back home, since I was gone for a week. So,
you've been gone way too long, there, Dad.
Exactly. But that being said, I don't really have that much else for anything else for new stuff. Yeah.
I was going to say, have you seen the lineup for Blue Ridge so far?
I have. There's some good ones on there. Definitely. Well, first off, I'm always, Seven Dust has always been a top 5 band for me, honestly. So, like, anytime they're anywhere, that makes me happy. So,
yeah. Absolutely.
I know Body Count got announced. All kinds of shit got announced. Yep. I mean, it'll be good. I mean,
today they announced Drowning Pool got announced today. Beartooth got announced today. let's see. So far,
Beartooth.
Five Fingers Death
Beartooth's
Punch.
one of my local bands because, well, I'm in Columbus.
Yeah. I would say Noun Point, From Ashes to New, Fire from the Gods, Knocked Loose, Another Day Dawns, Fozzy. Trying to think of who else. Wage War got announced. Motionless in White.
Motionless. Last time I did an interview with Motionless in White, it ended up just being me and Chris Motionless talking about like food and alternatives for like. Somehow we got on a conversation about like talking about certain foods and then what a good vegan alternative because he's vegan, like,
yeah,
and trying that and the wonders of trying to figure out where the fuck to eat on tour when you're a vegan.
Hey, eat Burger King. They have the Impossible Burger.
Right. So, yeah. He's always so soft spoken. Like, I love talking to him. Like, considering how he is on stage, it's just like, you meet him.
He's a beast on stage. He's brutal.
Right. And then just super laid back.
Yep.
So just. Then again, a lot of people are like that. They're like, if you never heard them in an interview or anything like that, there's plenty of musicians out there that like when you talk to them or meet them outside of that, it's actually a perfect example of that. Randy Bly.
Yeah. Yeah. On stage, he wants to murder the world, and then behind the scenes is bro hugs and hey, let me buy you a beer, or hang out, like, let's chat, let's talk about life.
Right. The one thing about him though is he, even off stage though, he suffers no fucking fools.
Yeah.
Like he's if you are a dumb motherfucker, it's just it's in your best interest just not to have a conversation with him. Because he's one of the more like intellectual.
He's like Alice Cooper. He's a head filled with some of the useful but useless knowledge of all things.
Milwaukee.
I was waiting for you or I was going to do it. Milwaukee from the Indian. Like, how the hell did you know that?
We're not worthy. Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope that is like one. Let's hope that is one show here in the future that they do not try to remake.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, let's see. 3 pups tomorrow. They're gonna hate me. Yeah, probably. Your pups are gonna hate you. It's okay. They'll eventually like you again. Non-point. Oh, like you, Dr. Adam. Wait a second. You, Dr. Adam. Why are you calling him Dr. Adam now? I know you said Dr. J earlier.
Well, I'm one of those guys. I like if there's something I don't know, I like to look up info. And I just like to sit here and if it's something that intrigues me or something that I don't know about, guess what? I'm going to research it so I had that knowledge. So just in case I run across that moment again, I actually have the knowledge on it.
See, I have my dad and I, well, we didn't really have that great of a relationship. One of the things we did do often was play Trivial Pursuit, and we had to have a rule in place that we couldn't answer more than 3 in a row. And that went for the regular version. It went for the 80s version. It went for the 70s version. There was a Star Wars one that we had to put that rule to. There's a couple other and although my dad, in older, as we aged and I got older and, drinking age and stuff like that, there's many a time where we got a free bar tab because of kicking the shit out of some people in trivia because we have just wells of useless information. Well, I mean, it's useful for getting a free bar tab, but I mean, really, in other aspects, it really doesn't do me a whole lot of good.
Right. But at least you have the knowledge just in case you come across that one question or scenario where it's like,
but you know what? There's a flip side to that though, because those people you meet that try to act like they know a bunch of shit, and then they'll start explaining something you blatantly know is fucking wrong, but it's obscure enough that they think they can get away with it. And it's like, and the whole time I think to myself, it's like, all right, am I just going to sort of listen and see where this goes? Or am I going to call him out on it? Or am I just going to fucking ignore him? But that whole point is like, oh, you annoying motherfuckers,
I know there's not many people watching, but I was going to say, this is actually a good trivial right now of, kind of like what we're talking about. There is a movie that's based off of this knowledge, type people. I'll say, can you guess what it is?
Are we talking quiz show?
No, a movie. Remember, this guy calls out another guy because he's quoting stuff from a book, but
we're talking about Good Will Hunting?
There you go.
Okay, yeah. Out here regurgitating wood.
Be like, you like apples? How do you like them apples?
And then I think about fucking watching Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, the scene where they got Ben Affleck and Matt Damon to do. He goes like,
oh yeah,
he's like, I don't like those apples, Chucky. What are we gonna do? It's hunting season. Applesauce, bitch.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, but movie trivia is one of those things that I don't keep up on movies as well as I should anymore, but I used to watch fucking anything and everything I could get a hold of. So
one thing I love, and I know it drives people nuts in the world, I should say, but it's like watching a movie and just for some odd reason, if you're paying close enough attention, you can always find the mistake. And I'm one of those guys. I don't purposely do it, but it's like if I'm that into a movie, I pay attention to not just the actors and actresses, but I look at the whole, scene. Then all of a sudden out of nowhere, I'm like, wait a minute. It's like, go back a scene real quick. So rewind and be like, oh shit, they missed that part. Oops.
Right. It's like, hey, why does Braveheart have a plane?
Right. Or it's like another one that's hilarious that I point out. Have you seen the movie SWAT with Colin Farrell?
Yeah. Okay. Samuel L. Jackson.
When Colin and Michelle Rodriguez are in the bar, there's the scene to where she's taking off her jacket in the beginning, and then Gamble comes up, or the waitress comes up. She's taking off her jacket again. If you watch that.
Yeah.
Because they're walking up to their seat, and she already about has her jacket off, and then while she's sitting down, she's actually taking her jacket off. She's sitting down. I'm like, oh shit, that is really noticeable.
Let's see, there's that. I remember watching Lord of the Rings and seeing Gandalf with a fucking watch. Because, Gandalf the Wizard. Shit. I can't remember whether it was Two Towers or Return of the King. I'm pretty sure it was while he was still Gandalf the Grey. But during one of the battle scenes, he had an arm out. It's like, he's wearing a watch.
I have to look for that. Oh shit. I've never noticed that. And I love those movies too, so that's even weird. I actually have to go back and actually look for that now. Hey, Gandalf, you forgot to take off your watch.
Right.
I don't think they had watches in this time period.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, I'm so fucking beat.
Oh shit.
I'm still trying to recover from my whole vacation. Like that, well, that was a long ass drive from Florida. Because I drove from Florida to Ohio, and I just like my mom and I switched off and everything like that, but we both stayed, neither one of us sleep well when we're in the car. So like we were trying to keep each other awake and stuff like that, and we managed to do the whole trip without us. Well, we had a couple stops, but that's because we're driving up in a Tesla. So we had to do like the supercharger stations and stuff like that. But that wasn't bad.
Right.
Well, I'll be honest, it was the easiest long distance drive I ever fucking had though, because
you actually use the autopilot mode
on the highway. Fuck yeah. Dude, it literally, like, especially like bad traffic when people are driving like assholes, like it's phenomenal. So on top of that, like literally it will, like, you can set it so it'll slow down at like you can sort of set it how much above like speed limit you want to go, and you can make it so it automatically changes it too when you go to lower speed limits and stuff like that. So basically it literally makes it impossible for a fucking cop to pull you over. I mean, like, because first off, you're not only are you staying, even if you're tired, are you staying in the lines? You're staying like dead center in the fucking lines,
right?
And like, you know, it's like the easiest thing in the world. It's fantastic.
So did you play around and get to ludicrous speed?
No.
I would say I do have a story. Actually,
plaid.
Do what?
We've gone plaid.
We were actually down at Club LA in Destin, Florida, and my buddy Bobby works for Shinedown, has the Tesla, and I told him, I'm like, hey, is like a couple of guys want a ride in the Tesla? They've never been in a Tesla before. He's like, okay, cool. He was like, I'll be there at this time. I'm like, okay, cool. I let him know, hey, we just pulled up. We got to load in real quick. Go ahead, be here around like 3:30, 4 o'clock. He's like, okay. So he shows up, and BC and Adam wanted to ride in it. So getting the Tesla, he takes us to this empty parking lot. And he was like, "You guys ready?" And they were like, "Ready for what?" They were like, he was like, "Just watch." Right? He was like, "Are you ready? You got your seatbelts on?" He was like, "Yeah." So he did. He kicks it into gear, 0 to 60 in under a second, like that.
Right.
So
it's like, I think it's like 2.1 seconds that fucker hits 6. I mean, like, the acceleration on those are crazy. I mean, like, electric car. Fuck.
Belt driven, mind you.
Right.
But we get back to the bus. It's hilarious because BC actually, he was like, I want to go again. And Bobby was like, for sure. I was like, well, I'm going to go in and get everything checked up. Adam, the bass player, actually hops out. He was like, I can't do it again. He was like, my stomach is in my ass. He was like, I cannot do it. And me and 808 were actually in the back seat. So it's a little different experience in the back seat compared to like a roller coaster. It's a different experience being in the back of the last cart rather than the first cart.
Oh yeah.
So
at
Adam
one point
like, can't do it.
Oh yeah, there was one point that like this dude was just going like it wasn't while we were driving back, but I was borrowing the car to go meet one of my guys on Midwest Metal Show, my writer, and there was this dude that was in front of me on this. It was just single lane roads, or and the dude was just going. There's this dude that was just fucking changing speeds all the time. It was just annoying the shit out of me. So I decided I'm gonna fucking pass him. I fucking floor it. And realized by the time I fucking slowed down, I was already at like 108. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
And the thing is, you don't even. I mean, you're going so damn like it.
It's so smooth. You don't know.
It accelerates so smoothly that, and you feel like you hear the sound from like the tires and stuff like that, but the car's not loud about it or anything like that. It's just like,
or even the jolting in the shift.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Even the shifting, it's like you never even know that all of a sudden you're in fifth or sixth, and it's just like, oh shit,
Right.
I didn't realize I was doing 100, 110, 120.
Right, and it accelerates like that no matter what speed you're going to. It's not like it, like some cars where like as you get higher, your standard cars and stuff when you're up, in the 70s, 80s, your acceleration's a lot slower than it is say like early gears and everything like that when you're first, second gear. This, it doesn't fucking matter. You're going to you can be going 80 and all of a sudden just boom, floor that bitch again,
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of those things of either it'll keep me super safe or it'll keep me super arrested when I get fucking pulled over for doing ridiculous speeds. So
yeah, but honestly, it's like, do you think? Well, yeah, I mean, there are some of those cops that are like, okay, I'm gonna chase down this Tesla. There are some cops who be like, dude, that is a Tesla. There is no way you're like catching up to that. That thing could go 3 states without really needing a fuel stop.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're on that. You can run like the max speed of the one that I was driving was, I think the max speed stated at 162 or something like that. So
holy shit.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
that car will end up running out of gas before it ever really gets a chance to slow down Tesla.
Yeah, not happening. So, all right. Well, I think it's about that time. We are almost at 10 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock. Well, I think 9 o'clock your time, right?
No, I'm Eastern.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, that's right. You're Eastern. I always fucking mix up where you and fucking JC are for whatever reason in my head. Anyways.
Hell no, Illinois.
Yeah, fuck Illinois. I don't want to live there. Yeah, cold. I like it. Ohio's already bad enough. I'll live with a little less snow,
You're not wrong.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you joining me, and we're gonna get the hell up out of here. Ashley says good night, guys. Good night, Ashley.
Good night, Ashley.
And we will be back. Well, I will be back next week to talk about whatever random fucking news that comes up and try not to burn the place down.
Yep. I would say stay tuned to this Sunday. We are actually skipping Who Gave the Drummer a Mic again this Sunday because not only is there one event, there is 2 events. Seven Dust is playing 2 of their albums back to back.
Home and Seasons, I believe.
Yep, Home and Seasons. And then it is also WrestleMania 37. But do go check out WrestleMania. We got our good friend Ashley from New Year's Day performing at WrestleMania 37. Thank you guys. Good night.
Later.